Kicking off some cool stuff for another metal fabricator. Look, this is a space that I know really well. So I think 2016 were the first sort of sites that I progressed of my own, and I've got a few clients in this space. So we're talking about structural steel, we're talking about steel framing. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff going on here. So maybe let me restart. Typical scenario where some sort of a marketing service was performed, Google ads, Facebook ads. So it's a local business, let's say hypothetically say Sydney Structural Steel or Sydney Steel Framing, with the intent of supplying the service, supplying the steel framing, not the installation. So key terms might be steel framing Sydney, steel framing Brisbane, structural steel, and the supporting key terms that bring money. Quite a significant Google Ads budget being sent to random pages of the website, no real conversion tracking set up, no real tracking of what is working, what isn't. So no sales landing pages, let's just throw some Google Ads at this and see what sticks. No doubt there's been positive inquiries through it, it's just hard to attribute success, and then it's hard to pivot from that. So the first suggestion was dedicated landing page, one page, and then a page for every unique key term. There was like roof trusses and other bits and pieces. So if the key term has a unique intent, unique service, it should have its own sales landing page. In this case, if the budget allows, then unique phone numbers, unique call tracking, unique forms, basic stuff. Like, I feel like that's foundational Google Ads management these days. And so that will begin to bring some leads through the door as we essentially rebuild the website, replan out all of the pages. Now, from an SEO perspective, as always, I start with doing some industry analysis. Look, I know the space quite well, but every month things change on Google. Google decides which websites are at the top. So we always begin with keyword research, understanding what are the key terms that bring the most valuable visitors to the website, the most valuable inquiries. What is the bread and butter leads that the client, what are the leads that the client wants and the right intent. So then we have a look at all of the competitors in the space. Now this is where I'll dive into Canadian websites, UK websites, American websites, and obviously all of the top Australian ones. We have a look at the high performing websites. In Ahrefs or SEMrush, I always look at their top performing pages, because you always get these cool ideas of, I didn't know this was a key term, and I didn't know that this brought in so much traffic. So we do analysis on competitors, their pages. We actually found that there's a whole bunch of competitors that were basically just, I wouldn't say copying us. There's no copy of another competitor offering the same service, but the page structures and the spelling of certain things was interesting and a little bit questionable, but no comment there. So we looked at the key terms that we desire. We looked at what the competitors have with those key terms. Then some foundational rank tracking has been set up, so we see where we stand. In the last 3 years, the site has been dipping. I believe it's dipping due to too many pages targeting the same key terms. In other words, keyword cannibalization. So on the menu, it looks like there are unique sort of service offerings and unique things, but when you actually click through to the page, all of the pages say more or less the same thing. We do steel framing, we do steel framing, we do steel framing. So there was like 15 to 20 pages that are just repeating the same key terms. I see this quite commonly, and look, I used to do this a long time ago where I was like, I want my whole website to get traffic on this key term. So all of the pages on the site, I added that key term to. These days, that's called keyword cannibalization. So the first thing that will need to happen there is we're going to rebuild all of those pages. We're going to clean up the URL structure as well. I can see that over time, as the website evolved, more pages were added, more services were added. So we're going to clean up the URL structure. Now these days, man, you get so much garbage from ChatGPT with this stuff. Be extremely careful with advice from ChatGPT. One, I'm finding that AI is hitting some sort of a resource cap and it just blurs out rubbish. I don't want to go on a tangent here, but basically I've been toying with custom GPTs and custom solutions on that help me with URL plans of the site. I know how the URL plan should be, but in order to make it all consistent, and God, some of the rubbish that ChatGPT spits out, like shit in, shit out. If you're relying on this tool for strategic advice, get ready. So planning out all of the pages. Now we're also planning out all of the redirections. So if there was an old page on steel framing Sydney, right, that page might remain, but there might be like a variation of that spelling where it's almost like a duplicate page. So basically cleaning up and making sure that there's only one page that's targeting that key term, or whichever key term it is, like roof trusses and the other services. Beautiful thing about this particular client is they embraced media capture a long time ago. I got what I believe is like my Friday night, kids were in sleep, wife was in bed, I was going through the drone footage of all of the projects, the structural steel projects. I was in love. I had the best Friday night, don't tell my wife, for a while. Like, as someone that loves flying drones and Bachelor of Design background, it was such a joy to go through these projects, because as an SEO specialist, as an SEO, I see the potential in creating case studies for each of these projects. If a videographer's gone out there, sent a drone up, taken vertical clips, landscape clips, photography clips, each one of those pages will get its own dedicated page with an interview from the project manager or the owner or the person that was involved in the project. So there's going to be like some basic case study type questions where what was the initial scope of work? What were the challenges? What were the complexities? What type of steel did we use? Basic stuff. Every industry can create these case studies, whether you build fences, whether you're a tree lopper, whether you make running shoes or whatnot. You can always find things to talk about that prove that you're an expert, that you're a true authority, that you have experience, and that you've got obviously years of experience. So it doesn't matter what the space is, find a way in your space to do that. How you going? When I look at these drone footage, it's like there is already a wealth of high quality brand pages, project pages that will go up. It's same goes with a lot of my builders. I'll insist when you guys finish a gangster project, get a videographer out there, photographer, bonus points. It'll cost you $500, $600, $700, $1,000 just to get a dude and send the drone up. But that stuff sells your brand while you sleep. These days, SEO is changing, marketing is changing. We have to have multiple platforms, multiple sources of traffic. Diversification has never been more important. So I know I'm sounding like a broken record here with these videos. New website is going up with planned pages, lots of new pages that are going up, geo pages, about 50 guide-like blogs that have been scheduled, landing page going up, like a sales landing page that's hidden away from the index with proper conversion tracking, so we can actually see what a cost per lead is in this space. This gentleman's got no visibility. It's like, and we're paying this much to Google, we don't know what we're getting, which is a common, something I see 99% of the time. It's like we're going backwards with what's being offered, in my opinion. I guess that's just the way I see it. It's like we can walk there, or we can ride a bike, or we can drive a bus. We'll get there eventually, so just firing up the Google ads will bring some kind of results. But the more competitive the space is, the more you're going to have agencies like mine that have laser focused on a specific key term, that are driving that visitor to a specific landing page that's going to have a higher chance of converting than your homepage, the old homepage that was built like 5 years ago, that you're expecting to convert these clicks at $30 a click. Yeah, sure, we could walk there, or we can catch a bus. We'll eventually get there, but what is there? I love this. It's exactly the same playbook for over 1,000 sites now that we've rolled out, where we do the analysis, the competitor analysis, we set up the Google ads. Now in this case, we also have Facebook ads. Facebook ads is a bit fluffy in this space, but because we've got such amazing high quality footage and case studies, why not, right? Pixel retarget, anyone that comes through the Google ad can be hit with a Facebook ad. I'm not expecting crazy leads, because the only people that inquire with someone in structural steel is another builder with a significant project. There's not going to be too many of those, but it's still great because the visuals are so beautiful. you're going to get some additional brand attention on the brand and just be it's like a billboard. It'll fall under the area of a billboard. Now, the client reckons he's getting inquiries from Facebook ads. Well, I was intrigued and surprised and impressed, and absolutely we're still going to be running those. Typical conversion inquiry, a couple of questions. Hey, submit your project designs. Happy days. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I've also picked up a few domains in this space, which I will be progressing of my own, and then the client has some additional domains. So we're going to be probably looking at 4 or 5 sites going up with the client's main site. Let's see the kind of damage we can cause in a few years' time.